I hope this is the very last one of these that I make, but it may not be. But at the end of the day, I feel like education is key, and I feel like people need to really understand what they're told and what they read other people say and what they begin to say because someone else said it. So today we'll be talking about another what grinds my gears. Stay tuned. What's cracking, people? My name is Joshua, and this is our channel, ScentSense. To all my loyal subscribers who have been putting in the work and watching these videos and being a loyal part of this channel, people, it means the world. And to all you new people who are maybe checking the channel out for the very first time, or you've watched a couple times and you're still unsure, every person who subscribes saves another dog or cat from being swept up into the arms of angels and Sarah McLachlan and gets them adopted. So if you're tired of hearing, "in the arms of the wreckage," and all that crap, subscribe. Boom, it's done. All right, enough goofing around. Let's go ahead and talk about the latest and greatest episode of What Grinds My Gears, sponsorships. So after watching and listening to people talk about what it means to be sponsored on YouTube, I just felt like it's time to educate people, because I think people think that because anyone does anything about any brand that is not like the status quo or a high-end niche fragrance brand or a designer brand, that clearly they're being sponsored. Let's go ahead and dive into that. But before we go any further, let's break down different types of being sponsored. The number one and most important version of being sponsored is what I call actually being sponsored. And actually being sponsored means that a fragrance brand or a fragrance company of some sort that sells something fragrance related would reach out to a fragrance reviewer or a YouTube personality and say, "Hey, I'm going to pay you funds if you would just simply make a video talking about what I provide, what I sell, talk about it, tell everybody how you feel about it, and hopefully you say some good things about it. Here's some hard-earned money." Now, before I preface any other version of sponsorship, I would just like to preface this. I have not been, nor will I ever be, truly sponsored. I have never been paid for anything, and I don't think anyone's stupid enough to pay me for it. Because number one, I'm probably not big enough of a channel to even get paid for it. And number two, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say exactly how I feel. So I might piss somebody off. So they probably don't wanna waste their money or their time. Moving on to the most popular version of what sponsorship is in some people's eyes, free bottles. Oh man, for some reason, people's underwear get tied in a nautical knot strong enough to hold the Titanic at dock and away from all icebergs. For some reason, they lose their minds when people get a free bottle. So let me break down to you how that actually works. Not what you've been told, not what people have assumed, what actually happens. And here's how I know what actually happens. I've been sent free bottles for review, but there's a lot of people out there who bash it and say, either as a reviewer, I would never get a free bottle, I would never review it, or people who watch and have a problem with people getting free bottles. Here's my problem with that. Number one, if you have received a free bottle, that's how you know how it works. So therefore, if you're bashing people about free bottles, you're a hypocrite. If you haven't received any free bottles, then that means you have no idea how it truly works. Therefore, you're full of crap. And if you're a viewer watching it and you don't have any understanding of it, don't fall prey to people like they do with politics, where they just blurt out bullcrap because they saw it on the internet or they heard someone say it and they think magically it's true. So here's how it actually works from a person who's been sent free bottles. Companies know that you talk a lot about fragrances and you have a captive audience. You have subscribers. So they hit you up and say, "Look, we want you to talk about our fragrance, and you've been talking about all these other ones that you've bought, and I'm sure it may have something to do with the fact that you either can't afford it or you don't want to shell out that much money. We would like to send you a free bottle, and all we ask that you do is talk about our fragrance." Most of the time, they ask you to be very impartial and say exactly how you feel. But when they don't do that with me personally, because I can only speak about me, because I'm not a bull crapper and I'm not gonna destroy everybody else like some people do, I personally have told them, if they haven't mentioned what I said previously, I will say, I will not review your bottle unless you give me free reign to say whatever it is I want to say. So when Max Aroma sent me Black Platinum, I said exactly what I thought about it. I think it smells like Uncle Rico would wear it. I think it smells terrible. I don't think any human being should wear that on their skin. I think if you do, you smell like a used car salesman with the neck meat coming out and the gold chains all kinked up in it. And you're like, yeah, girl, wanna buy a car? So at the end of the day, I don't think that relationship is gonna continue. I haven't heard anything from Max Aroma since. So maybe there's a reason for that. When it comes to other fragrances, such as Moscow Mule, I made a video about it and the freaking thumbnail had caution tape because I really believe it smells like bug spray and I really believe it is not good at all and it is very, very overpriced. Having said that, the kind people at Euro Perfumes who sent me that have then sent me other fragrances, which I have reviewed and said great things about because I felt great things about it. At the end of the day, they respect my opinion and they know I'm gonna say exactly what I feel. Many other examples such as Parfum Vintage and Alexandria, people who have sent me bottles and I've said good things about them, but I've also said bad things about their fragrances. At the end of the day, none of that matters. Because unless you've really watched my channels, you would have noticed that and you probably won't say anything about it. And the people who say things about it haven't watched my channel. So they make assumptions immediately. It's like trying to grab a book and read just on the back of it and read like the first page and be like, oh, that book is terrible. It's trash. I'm throwing it away. That's dumb. Just so you know, when it comes to free bottles, it doesn't mean that this channel and probably many other channels are just gonna say whatever these people expect us to say. We're gonna say how we feel. Because at the end of the day, I sure as hell ain't broke. I got over 100 bottles, I have a ton of niche fragrances, and if I really was hurting at the point where I really needed those bottles for free, I promise you, I wouldn't be making YouTube videos. I'd have a second freaking job. And jumping into that, monetization, another way people feel that reviewers are money hungry or sponsored. Let me break this down to you. I put in at least 3 to 4 videos a week. On average. When I film these videos, it takes 2 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours away from my family. I do them all on the same day. I gotta tear down this equipment, set the equipment up, film the videos, blah, 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 blah. Then the night before each day that I release a video, I've gotta put 2 to 3 hours of work in to edit those videos. So let's say on a good week, I do 4 videos. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus the first 3 hours is 15. So I put in 15 hours a week on top of being a father of 2 kids, taking care of a household, working a full-time job. And guess what that got me in a full calendar year? $621. Just so you know, if you don't believe me, if I could find it, I'd show you the little paper that came in, the 1099 MISC, which is miscellaneous form that shows it. I'd show it to you. Don't know where it's at. Already filed my taxes. But $621 and like 20 cents. So there's 52 weeks in a year times 15. Yes, of course I used a calculator. I couldn't figure that out that quick. Come on. What do you think I am? That's nearly 800 hours of time spent on just making the video. That's not counting posting them, responding to almost every single comment posted, posting it on Instagram, trying to promote the channel, responding to people in the Facebook fragrance groups, doing everything else that I do that's fragrance related. So unless you're really bad at math, that means I make less than $1 per hour invested in this. So if you really think that me, myself, or most reviewers are like, yeah, dude, I'ma really make some money off of this, you're stupid. Because it doesn't work that way. Now, some bigger channels, maybe the Jeremys of the world, maybe they crank out a crap ton of money, and maybe people with a lot more subscribers make a bunch of money. But you know where that money goes? The new bottles that come out that you want to know about. So they buy those bottles with the money they make from AdSense. So at the end of the day, it just goes right back into what they're doing. It's not like they're like sitting on a beach in like Cozumel sipping Mai Tais and going, oh yes, this money from AdSense is so luxurious. People, calm down. It's just a way to supplement being able to provide the videos that you so eagerly watch. And moving on to another point, Patreon. If you watch any other channel on YouTube that's bigger and much bigger than the fragrance community, there are a ton of people with Patreons. People use Patreon to allow people to help them supplement the income needed to produce these videos. Again, if people aren't making a lot on this AdSense and they gotta constantly be buying these bottles and buying these things to make videos for people to watch, they gotta make the money somehow. And you know what? Some people don't want to crack into other money they could use for other things, and they like to use it on the stuff they like to use it on. Fragrances, just for you. Am I saying that there are no reviewers out there getting paid cold hard cash to make videos and that they are biased? Not at all. I'm sure there is, and I'm sure that's in every single genre of YouTube. But at the end of the day, they're doing it like it's a job. I've said this before with the Jeremy fragrance thing. Jeremy is doing this as a job. That is his thing, and you know what? For some people, it turns them off, and I get that. I completely understand that. But at the end of the day, you don't have to watch him. And then also don't alienate other people who don't do what they do. You have to try to understand that not everything is about each individual subscriber. It's about the body as a whole. Some people don't like designers, they like niche. Some people like niche, they don't like designers. Some people get mad when you just throw out a new release the second you get it because they're like, oh, he just wants to get clicks. But then if you don't throw it out immediately and you throw it out later, no one watches it because you already watched someone else's review on it. So what do you want? Do you want the person you're into to review the fragrance and talk about it and spend time with it? Then great. But if you're not watching it, then you're full of crap. And numbers prove that. Perfect example, Night Vision from Spice Bomb, Victor and Rolf. I think I have like a little over 1,000 views on it. Chris from Fragmental, who doesn't have a whole lot more views per week than I have and doesn't have a whole lot more subscribers than I have, got a crap ton of views on it. Nothing against Chris. Chris just put his out first. Why? Because he's in the UK and he got his hands on it first. And he's passionate about it, so he talked about it first. Does that make him like a money-hungry, money-grabbing guy? No. The dude has definitely got money. He's definitely well taken care of. He doesn't need YouTube. It's called a hobby. And at the end of the day, if he can make a little extra quid or whatever it is called where he's from, he's gonna use that money to buy more fragrances and buy better equipment and film in better places to offer you better videos so you can enjoy it. It's a service. It's not like it's a business where we're making bank. The most of us are not. So get that out of your head. It's not a money-hungry field. Listen, Frag-com is like this big when it comes to all other YouTube communities. And people expect this certain level of this or that from Frag-com that they don't expect from every other channel they watch. And if you're gonna tell me the only time you watch YouTube is to watch fragrance channels, I'm gonna have to call you a liar. Because I'm sure there's no one out there who only watches that. Maybe you're a part of a very small amount of people. And if you are, I get it. And if you have an issue with the way people are doing fragrance reviews on YouTube and that's all you watch, you maybe have a soapbox to stand on. But if you're watching channels that have millions of subscribers and are making a crap ton of money from monetization and are getting a crap ton of stuff sent to them and are actually getting paid money to make videos and you watch it, no problem. But then when you go to your small bubble of Frag-com and watch videos, you expect some special level of sophistication or trueness to the art form. That's hypocritical and it's quite silly. You can't hold each person who does videos in Frag-com to the same standard as everyone else because every reviewer is different. Different reviewers talk about different fragrances, different reviewers have different pitches, different reviewers have different ways of projecting and talking about fragrances and have different ways of doing things. Some people are just straight up ballers. Some people can buy like every fragrance from every high-end level fragrance house and that's all they talk about and they don't monetize and they don't do this and they don't do that. And that's great and well for them. Let them do that. But at the end of the day, that makes them them. And you can watch them if you don't like people who have monetization. And you can watch them if you don't like people who are sent free bottles. Just watch them. But then why complain about people that you don't like and you don't even watch? It's silly. If you're not watching it and it's not truly affecting you, why would you expend the energy it takes to make posts about it and get frustrated? You have a ton of trolls in this community. I've never seen so many keyboard warriors in my entire life than in Frag-com. When it comes down to it, the majority of people who sit there and talk crap in the Frag-com would never do it in person. Because I know what happened. The second they go to talk, they get nervous and they start stumbling and bumbling because they realize it's real. And there's no computer screen or phone screen separating them from that person. And when they realize that person would not put up with it, they would get scared. Now, I'm not saying that Frag-com is full of like world-class boxers like Jesse Aboise. No, not all of us are like trained martial artists or some crap. But at the end of the day, we're grown people. We're grown men and women. And you're not about to walk up to me or most people and just openly disrespect me and not expect a response. Having said that, I find most of the trolling hilarious. And it's like Eugene said at You Smells Good. Sometimes you have villains and sometimes you have heroes. And at the end of the day, he's like Hulk Hogan when he went NWO with the black mustache and the gold hair. That's Eugene. And Eugene does it, in my opinion, from what I'm watching, and I'm not saying he said this is my opinion. He does it because he just gets a kick out of people's responses. And if no one responds, he won't continue to say the things he said. I've talked to him, and the one thing that bothered me was his comments about people who have mental disabilities. He understood that, and he's a respectful man, and he had a real conversation with me. At the end of the day, people jump down this man's throat, and you know what? On the surface level, I get it. But man, guys, we, me, you, everyone are taking this entirely too serious. And people need to realize that this community that's very small is growing and it's expanding. And in everything in life, when something grows, there's growing pains. There's difficult times. You're going to get more people in that are going to be passionate about fragrances, but then you're going to have more people who are passionate about fragrances going out, and you're going to have more people who are going to come in that are just trolls. And some of them are going to go. But guess what, guys? It's okay, because the community is growing. More people get to experience how exciting we get about fragrances. It's not that big of a deal. Nobody's paying house notes with monetization from AdSense. No one's making money at absorbent amounts from people sending them money to make videos. No one is making a crap ton of money from Amazon from those links at the bottom of the description, which I don't have, but I don't even know how to do it. But let's just stop there. No one's making a crap ton of money from that. It's pennies, guys. It's just something to invest and spend money on more equipment, more fragrances, more things to do when it comes to our channels. Check out any reviewer you've ever seen. They always start with a crappy camera, a crappy presentation, crappy editing, and it gets better and better and better. You know how they do that? Money! And some people really believe these people should just take it upon themselves to spend gobs and gobs of money just because they really enjoy it. If you really enjoy it, you'll spend all that money. Listen, I did it. But at the end of the day, that's not everybody. Some people want to make the money so they can afford to do these things. If you really knew how much it costs to do these videos and how much time it takes, you would not be saying the things you're saying. You'd respect these people. Or you'd just not watch them because you don't like them. In closing, guys, sponsorship is not as simple as people make it out to be. And again, if you know about it and you know how it works, then you can't talk crap about it, because that means that you've either done it or you've considered doing it, and therefore that makes you a hypocrite. And again, if you don't know about it and you're just making assumptions and you're just talking out of your butt and you don't know, then that means you just don't know, and you're uneducated on the situation and you're ignorant to what's really happening, and you're just saying things and you're just doing like media people, and you're like being Donald Trump and just posting crap on Facebook or Twitter or whatever he does where he just blurts crap. I'm just saying, guys, take a deep breath, calm down, and understand that nothing you're seeing in Frag-com is different than what you see in normal YouTube genres. We're just getting bigger as a group. There used to be so many reviewers. And what I mean by so many, like only so many, like 5, 10, 15. You had the OGs, man. All you had was like Drag Doc, Coach Rob, BFL, Renee Zayas, Mark's Robo 8, Stephen from Adolescence. You only had Mr. Oz, a ton of other people. There was the OGs, the guys who started this, Chad from A Gentleman's Journey. They built this foundation of what fragrance reviewing is. And now there's new people who are just coming along and filling in those voids. And like anything in life, music, sports, anything, there's the oldies, and then they get more and more, and the old people are disgruntled and mad at the young people and get all butthurt. These kids are coming into my neighborhood kicking rocks and mad and saying, listen to this mumbo jumbo music they're listening to. Listen, it's okay. It's called change, and we're growing, and there's still room for everything. I still watch a lot of the OGs when they talk about certain things because I want to be truly educated and truly make an informed decision. But at the end of the day, I also enjoy just hearing someone talk about fragrance and being as passionate as I am. So different strokes for different folks. But listen, I'll wrap it up with this. if you think someone's being sponsored, why don't you ask them what it means to be sponsored for their channel? And if they are, don't just make assumptions and slanderize people if you don't even know. You can't just make these bold statements and not sound like you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Some people are gonna give you pats on the backs and hoorahs, but at the end of the day, that's just empty because it's not real, because people are just saying words. Anyone can just say words. So I hope that was informative. I hope you now understand what it means to be sponsored and what it means to just do videos based on fragrances that you enjoy or fragrances that you scent and talking about them. That way you don't have to go out and buy them. Not everybody is trying to make money off of this, guys. Not everybody is trying to build up a job by this. And the people who are, that's okay, because that's their job and that's what they want to do. So just take a deep breath, relax. We're growing as a fragrance community. My channel is growing. ScentSense group is growing. We're growing, people, and that's great because growth is good. More people added to the fun. At the end of the day, as Dan always says, it's just scented water. I love you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this video was informative like I said. So if you did enjoy the video, go ahead and subscribe. And after you subscribe, go ahead and smash that notification bell. That way when my videos come out, you people will be the very first to know. And as always, I'll smell you people later. Peace!